Now to a Kelly File exclusive. Today marks 10 years since Iraq executed its former leader, Saddam Hussein. The brutal dictator was captured by U.S. forces back in 2003 and would later be interrogated for weeks by a former CIA analyst who says America still doesn't understand exactly who Saddam Hussein was. Now, he's speaking publicly for the first time about his history-making encounter. Former CIA analyst John Nixon is here. He is an author of the brand new book, Debriefing the President, the Interrogation of Saddam Hussein. Good of you to be here, and thank you for telling your story, sir.
Very well. How about yourself?
So tell us about that. How did this all begin?
Well, I was asked to come out to Baghdad and to work on helping find Saddam Hussein. And when we found him, I was asked to identify him, and I subsequently spent several weeks debriefing him afterwards.
And you say this is still a man that many of us don't understand or never really knew. What did you learn about him during that interrogation process?
Debriefing him produced a lot of surprises. First and foremost was that at the very end of his reign, he had become largely detached from running the government. He was really busy writing novels at the time, and he was not the master manipulator that we at the CIA thought he was.
So you get called to Iraq, and then you get called out to actually ID him. What was that like?
It was fascinating. I was looking for certain tribal markings that he had on his hands and wrist area, and I was also looking for a bullet wound that he had suffered in an assassination attempt long ago. However, I will admit, the minute I laid eyes on him, after years of watching videotape and years of studying pictures, the minute I laid eyes on him, I knew it was him.
And what told you that? I mean, because that must have been such a moment.
Oh my gosh! Well, I have it in the book, and you just know.
Did he say something to you? Did you say something to him?
Well, he looked at me, and he gave me this look that was similar to the cover of a book I had on him, and it sent chills down my spine. And you know, we talked initially, and you know, sometimes you just know certain things, and it's just beyond a shadow of a doubt.
What condition was he in?
He was in very good condition for a person who had just had his world turned upside down by being captured. He had some minor abrasions and cuts on his arms and on his face from having the capture, but he was actually, when I saw him, he sort of acted like he came here every Saturday night, and that, you know, we were his guests.
So we're running on a banner at the bottom of the screen that says it's not so easy to govern Iraq. What did he say about that?
Well, that's what we were talking. I said, you know, Saddam, you're here, you're in prison, your government's no more. He had said that the United States would lose, and I said, why do you say that? And he said, because you're going to find that it's not so easy to govern Iraq. And then he said, you know, you don't understand Iraq, you don't understand the Arabs, you don't understand the Arab mind, you don't know our history, you don't know our culture, you don't know our language. And I have to admit, he had a point.
And as far as our current intelligence relationship, you said that there's something that we need to look back, learn our history, look at this moment. And what do we learn from that moment, John?
We learn many things. Number one, if we want to know who somebody is and what a government is up to, maybe instead of ostracizing them, or trying to at least, we should actually talk to them and have a presence in country, because we can learn a lot more than if we're trying to figure things out from a distance.
All right, John, thanks for being here and telling your story, and I know we can learn more as we read your book. Thank you.
Well, thank you for having me.